Okay. We're back.
Ooh. We are back. We are back. We are back. Thank you for the applause. Too kind.
I'll be here all week. It's fine.
You gotta get like a womp womp or some kind of like.
Oh, we do have the air
Meh.
horn.
I'm sure
Oh wait, that doesn't fit. Oh, that's disappointing. I thought it
it's
was like a
okay.
sad horn. It's not.
No, but you know what I mean. Like you should get the sound that's like womp womp womp, or
Yes.
like a knee slap or something. I don't know. Something
Yes.
that's
All
like I'll
right.
be here all week.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna find that next.
But hey, we're in the middle of summer. It's officially summer now.
Summer. Yeah.
And what did we kick off the summer season
Oh,
doing? Well, technically a week ago now. Can't believe
yes.
it's a
I
week
know.
ago.
Oh, it's so good. We
About a week ago.
about a week ago we saw Wicked on Broadway.
Yes, we did. We had ourselves
A,
a day
a trip.
in
Yes.
New York
Yes.
City. One short day, if you will.
One short day.
Uh,
Oh wait.
that was what I was talking
Oh,
about. There you
okay.
go. That was what
All
I was
right.
talking. I
All
knew
right.
we had that
I was
sound
like, I knew
somewhere.
it somewhere, and then I
What was the name of that one?
sad horn.
Sad horn. So you have air horn and then you have sad horn.
Yeah.
Just to make the
Yep.
distinction.
Yep.
I'm dead.
I also have the
Oh.
cricket sound. Yes.
We'll see how if
Yep.
that's appropriate for them.
Yep. What we did, so we kick started our day at Friedman.
Yes.
Yes.
And just for background, we planned this trip, how many, like,
Oh, months
I'd
ago.
say we planned it, like, what, like mid-April did we
Yeah.
plan it? Or, like,
Yeah.
late March? Something like
Mm-hmm.
that. So, yeah.
It's been
Where did we
yes.
start? Well, we started with, we took the train this time, because
Yes.
it's a shame that I put my fiance through driving last year. I
I'm
was like, that's not
surprised,
happening again.
but he was like, "Oh, I'll drive." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah. It's like, no, we're not doing that again.
No. Took
No.
the
So
Friedman. It actually wasn't that
if you're
bad.
going to
Yeah.
If you go to New York, I think train
Oh yeah.
is an ideal. I mean, obviously, if you're coming from far away, you're gonna fly. But
Yes.
we're close enough where the train is
Yeah.
probably the best option.
Yeah. And it didn't take that
And
long,
we
surprisingly.
started our day early
Oh
too,
yeah.
like getting up.
So I got picked up at like 6 something in the morning.
Oh my God.
And then we had to drive and drop our friend Bree's son off. And
Hmm.
then we got to the station around like 8:30.
Hmm.
So we were early, so we were just hanging out until you guys got there, and then our
Yeah.
train was at like 9:20.
Yeah.
And then what time did we get there? Probably close to
I
11.
mean, we got there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like right before 11, I
Yeah,
would say. So I mean, the train is way better because I think it's faster.
it's faster.
You
Yeah.
know, like obviously it is like it does get like crowded. That's the only thing that I would have changed about is
Oh yeah.
crowdedness. But thankfully we were all able to be in the same car.
Yeah.
I think that's fine.
Yeah.
Maybe next time I would probably print us out like individual tickets so I wouldn't have to like run back to the
Yes.
conductor and like try.
And I was
So I'll know that for next time to just have us like print like individual like print
yeah.
out tickets in case we are in different like
Yeah.
spaces,
And
but
but I
worked out,
didn't
thank
think
God.
like the line wasn't that long, I thought.
No,
So
no.
but when you got in, like you could barely find a seat next to somebody.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's because maybe the next time we go, I'll try to find like I think there's ways to search where it's like either like an express or like a one way where it's just like one city going to another city,
Yeah.
not like the stops in
Yeah.
between. I think that, but granted, that might be a little bit more money, but I think that prevents the whole like because I think when the train was coming in to where we were, I think there had been people that it had
Already
already
were
come in
sitting.
from.
Yeah.
Probably, like, I think people came in from, like, DC, I wanna say.
Yeah.
So, like, it was going from DC up to New York.
Yeah.
So I think that's why
Yeah.
that was the case,
'Cause
but we made it work, thank
yeah.
God.
And so I had to sit next to strangers both times.
Yeah, me
But at
too.
least we were still in the same car, so it was fine. As long
Yeah.
as I can see where you guys are,
Mhm.
I was fine.
Yeah.
But it didn't
And
take
hey,
that
I
long
mean,
to get
no, no.
there, I feel like.
That's another advantage of it. It
Yeah.
takes like even though I mean when you look out the window you can see like just like Amtrak trains go like faster than like regular like regional rail
Yeah.
trains, but like Amtrak goes like even faster. So those are the ones where like because when I was in college I had to take regional rail trains and those were like kind of like moving at like a slower pace.
Yeah.
But then if an Amtrak train were to go like between your two stations, like those were the trains that were going like super
Yeah.
fast.
Mhm.
So like that's why I think it like takes like even with we had what like 2, 3 stops like in between
Yeah.
when we got on and got off, and it was still like within like 2 hours.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is great.
Mhm.
This is great.
Yes. And then of course
And
it was
we
raining.
did have the right. I was about to say
Yeah.
we did have a rainy day, but damn, did we not let that stop us?
No.
Because like we were
No.
like,
Yeah. And then we went to Friedman's at
yeah,
the Edison Hotel.
yeah,
We went there
that was
once
nice.
before, not that location, but
Yeah,
last time we were in New York, we did go to
yeah, they
Friedman's.
have multiple
Yeah.
locations across. I think probably like 5 or 6
Yeah.
locations, I wanna say. The last one that we went to was closer to the West Side Theater, which is where
Yeah.
we saw Little Shop of Horrors, but the one we went to last time was more of like it almost, like, looked like almost like a New York deli, like,
Yeah.
type
Yeah.
deal, but this one was a little swanky, it was in
It
a
was
nice, like,
swank.
little
Yeah,
hotel.
the Edison Hotel. It was fancy. And like,
I felt
oh,
fancy.
and we went to the bathroom, and we asked the lady where the bathroom was, and she
Uh-huh,
said, "Oh, it's like out in the lobby." So we go
uh-huh,
out there, and it's
yeah,
so fancy that like they have a sign out front that's like Edison guest only.
yeah. I
You
was like, "Ooh."
can't sit in this section. Like you can't sit with us, you know?
Makes me n you can't write.
You
They
can't
said, "We're Regina George, you cannot sit with us."
or the plastics. And then the guy
Yeah.
was like, do you where's your like I guess I don't know if he's
Room
asking
key. Yeah,
room
got a
key."
room key.
And we were
And I was
like
like, "Oh, we just wanna use the
and
bathroom."
he's like, "Okay, proceed." I'm like, "Great, thanks."
But I beg to like, what did he say? Like, are you so you're able to get past him to use the bathroom, but like, I guess that little like lounge area, you couldn't like sit down.
Yeah,
I can't.
but like if I said, "Oh, I'm going to the bathroom," and he let
Right.
me in, if
Yeah.
I do actually like I could go to the bathroom real quick and go sit down and he probably would not remember.
Right, right. So I guess he was kind of right near maybe like where that front like check-in
Yeah.
desk was. So like maybe to a certain extent he's just like playing face like, yeah, I'm checking for the room
Yeah,
keys.
yeah, yeah. He probably no, he probably doesn't care. But
No, no. But
imagine
it was
having
nice.
that job. Just being like
Yeah, I know. Room
room
key. Yeah.
key, just bathroom. Okay.
I mean it's like I don't even know like what is that guy's like does he work the front desk? Is he a bellhop? Like I don't get
Yeah, what
Can you imagine if he just has to stand there and ask for people's room
my
keys?
god, imagine how much
I
money
would
he
go
makes
nuts.
just to do that though at the Edison.
Yeah. Watch it not watch the hotel be like, well, this is just how like I feel like America is. Watch it be like the to get into the hotel and like stay at the hotel is like expensive, but like watch the people that work there like aren't even paid
Oh
for.
yeah, they're probably
Like
not.
I feel
Yeah.
like oh man.
Um,
That's the well technically if you work in hotels it's called the hospitality business. I'm
oh
like, oh
yes.
okay. Yeah.
Hmm. And
But what did you get
so I
to eat?
got the buttermilk fried chicken.
Yes.
Um, so I had the chicken and like a spicy like sriracha sauce on it.
Hmm.
Came with fries, and then I got a mimosa. Mm,
Oh yeah.
yes.
Same. The most gang.
And then what did you get? Oh,
I got
the
the chocolate chip pancakes,
oh yes, because it was
and then they
around
just had
brunch
like
time.
uh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, cause like I don't know. I was just like I most of the time I would be like, oh, I want something like savory, but like something I don't know. I was just feeling like I want something sweet. I don't know,
Yes.
so I did,
And it was
and like
a
it
good
went
time for
well
that. It
with
was
the
brunch time,
mimosa.
so
Yeah, yeah. So it was like treading that line. I mean, we got our we did sit down. I mean, our reservation for what there was like for like 11:30, so it was that perfect like
Yeah.
brunch hour. And I just couldn't believe though when I got my pancakes, and I'll probably use a picture as reference, but like it was just a giant like it. I at first I thought it
Yeah.
was like
It
whipped
looked like
cream,
whipped
or
cream. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, or like now I'm looking at the picture on my phone. It almost looks like it could have been like a scoop of like vanilla ice cream. Like it
Yes.
literally looked
Which would
like
make
that.
sense, like the whipped cream or the vanilla ice cream, chocolate chip pancakes,
Hmm.
it would make sense.
Yeah, but no, it was just a giant slab of butter. It
Did
was like,
you took a picture of it?
I
Oh,
did,
no.
yeah,
Yeah, it was just a
yeah,
massive amount of, like, I love butter on my pancakes. It's the only thing I put on my pancakes, but like that was too
yeah.
much.
Yeah, yeah, and I try. I me and my family were trying to put like some of the butter like in between, and I was just like,
Yeah.
no, it's too much.
Yep.
It was
It's
like
too
making
much.
them like greasy. So at one point, I just like scraped it off,
Yeah. It was too much.
and then for some reason, they also put like a giant mint leaf on top of it, which I'm like, hey, fancy, but I'm not eating that.
But with, I guess, mint chocolate chip pancakes, but
Yeah,
no.
I guess so. I guess so. But like, I've never wanted. I've never been eating chocolate chip pancakes and been like, you know what this needs? Mint.
A mint. Just a single mint leaf will do.
Yeah. Yeah. I never, I mean,
Yes.
I don't flip over the whole like chocolate mint
Oh,
like
well,
combo. Like
it's
maybe
gross to me. So,
yeah. Yeah. Especially with like the ice cream, it tastes like toothpaste.
yes. And
Yeah.
everyone always makes fun of me for it. They're like, "You don't like mint I'm like, "No, it tastes like toothpaste."
No. I'm fine with the combination if it's like I've had like chocolate like candies like with like a mint like
Oh,
flavor,
yeah.
but like the ice cream is like too much. I
Too
don't
much. Yeah.
call me crazy, but I want to brush my teeth after I eat.
Yes.
Not
Yeah.
while I'm
Yeah, I don't want to do that while I'm eating.
while I'm eating.
No.
Right. Oh man.
And
But
then,
yeah,
yeah.
we
Oh,
got to each of us got a form of drink.
yes.
So by the time we had gotten to Wicca, we were already like had a drink in us
Very good.
already.
And it's only
Yeah.
mimosa, so it wasn't that bad.
No,
It's the
no, it
drink
wasn't.
afterwards that got me, and I'll have to explain that afterwards.
We'll, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. And then we headed to the theater.
Hmm.
So you've never seen
Of course, at the Gershwin. No, I
the
had
Gershwin. Okay.
never seen it. I mean, obviously, I had seen the movie, and I knew of everything going into it. Like, I knew the spoilers, I knew the
Oh
whole
yeah.
story because I had gotten. Well, I'd watched the. If anybody knows the term, I'd watched a slime tutorial,
Yep.
which is code
Yep.
for if people don't know, it's code for um Broadway shows that are videotaped and then put on YouTube. I watched a slime tutorial of the original, and
Yeah.
my friend, shout out to my friend Aya, who's like obsessed with Wicked. She's been obsessed with Wicked long. Like she's like, I was obsessed with this before everybody else
Hmm.
because she like read the books like years ago. But I knew, like, I went to her, like, I was like, do you any chance that you have a slime tutorial of the Kristen Chenoweth and Dina Menzel like version on Broadway? And she was like, I got you. And she sent me a link like
Oh
10
yeah.
minutes later.
Nice. I need to watch that
And then
too.
I think I sent it. I'll send it again, but I think I did send it at one point in
Yeah. Yeah.
the group chat. But it's pretty good quality, honestly, for like how long ago it was
Yeah.
videotaped. You can definitely tell that it wasn't taped on a phone. It was definitely like somebody had like a full like camcorder like
Yeah.
moment because it was like mid 2000s like when
Oh yeah.
that originally like came out. But I had watched that version,
Yeah.
so I knew all of like the spoilers going into it. I had just never seen
Yes.
the play or the
Hmm.
musical live,
Yeah. I've
and boy.
seen. Oh yes. So I've seen. I saw it in Philly a bunch, and then
Uh-huh.
I saw it when I was in high school with my family on Broadway.
Uh-huh.
And then I took Brie for her birthday in college. So I saw it
Mhm.
twice on Broadway. And
Yeah.
then this is the third time. And it's by far my favorite musical. The
Yeah.
storyline, the music, just everything about it is just amazing. And it's so well done.
It's incredible.
Even in Philly, it's well done. But on Broadway, because everything, like the ante is up. Like, it's
Mhm.
done so well. Um,
Do you in Philly when you saw it, did they also do like the same like outward like set? Like do they have like the dragon and the
yep.
map and all of that?
Hmm.
Oh, okay, good. I'm glad they keep that consistent
Yeah.
because that's definitely like It's definitely amazing from like the second you walk in and sit down, like before
Yeah,
it even starts, so
and
you're
we'll
like
show a picture,
already
but
transported to the world.
yeah, the backdrop is like a big map of um, the Land of Oz. Um,
Hmm.
and then it has the Emerald City in the middle, and it's like lit up green. Um,
Hmm.
so while you're waiting, that's like the whole thing, and there's a dragon at the top.
Yeah.
But when we started it, and I think you noticed this too, but the guy that was trying to use his phone to record,
Yeah.
they tell
Yeah,
you, well,
somebody,
they,
yeah, somebody got to clock. Well, they do like the voiceover, like not the voiceover, but
yeah,
like when
the
they're about to
announcer,
start,
yeah,
they always say like the please know that there is no flash photography or video of any kind in
yeah,
the theater. Put your electronics away, silence your phones, blah blah blah. But
yeah,
they clock this person right away because it's like, okay, I understand if maybe you're in the balcony, you try, attempt,
yes.
maybe,
But
but this
we were in
person
the
was
orchestra section,
right, and this
and
person was even a couple rows closer than we were.
yes, and they were on the end. Like we're on the left hand side, they were on
Hmm.
the end of that left hand side. You
Yeah.
don't think staff members are going to be paying attention to that? Like,
They quite literally have like they hide out of plain sight so you can't really see them. But if you look around, you notice that they're there. They have people like right on the corner of each side of the stage for that
yeah,
reason.
yeah,
And I'm pretty sure they have people like over by the doors. Well, obviously, if like somebody has an emergency and they have to get up and leave, like people have to be able to open the. You know what I mean? They have to
yes,
have people at the
everywhere. Yeah.
assistance. Right, right,
Um,
because you just never know. It's for safety issues or like if somebody needs assistance. Like they have people around the entire
yes.
theater for a reason.
Yep. So they got clocked for that. And the lady,
Immediately.
oh my
It
God, the
couldn't-
lady
it-
was
it-
not, it was like, you should be like that. But the lady wasn't having, she's like yelling at them, like, I
yeah,
will kick you out of this theater if I see you have your phone out a second time,
yeah,
basically.
yeah, yeah.
So that
And
they,
that was like I think before like that had to have been like
in the very beginning,
within like
like the first,
5-10 minutes.
yeah, the first song was playing.
I
And
don't even think I don't even think the first song was done, or maybe it
no,
was at the point where like they were showing like the backstory with like
yes,
Elphaba's mom and
yeah.
like the wizard and everything. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
it was around that time.
Um, and then
That was crazy.
so like she obviously they put their phone away. I don't
Hmm.
know if you've also noticed too, like they were in the wrong seat,
Hmm. Yeah.
so they had to move like two times
Mhm. Yeah,
because
because they definitely just thought that they could skirt and sit down, and it's different if, like, you do that if you're, like okay, if you go to, like, an AMC movie
yes,
and you sit, like, in a different seat, and then if somebody comes in, you just move, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
that's I've done that before, like, oh, if because like, with AMC, you have a designated seat, but, like, if a movie starts and, like, nobody's, like, around or
yeah,
people don't sit in the seats, sometimes, like, oh, I'll move, like, a little closer over or something, or, like, to be, like, not next to people or something like that, that's different, but, like, in a
yeah,
theater, you really thought you were gonna get away with
yeah.
that,
And you
where
don't
people are
think it's gonna be movie theaters aren't always packed too, so like you can do that, and
right,
they're not gonna
right,
care because that seat's probably not gonna be taken within 10 minutes. Like you're fine. But at
yeah,
Broadway, you don't think that theater is gonna be packed?
yeah,
That it's the Gershwin Theater. It's the only show that plays at that theater.
yeah,
You're not getting
and they
away
only
with
have
that.
2 shows a day.
Yeah. And so like you had to
Oh,
move,
crazy.
and then they had to move a second time.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, what did you think was gonna happen? Those aren't
I
your
don't know.
seats.
I don't
You're
know how
in
they
them.
even gotten what was my thing is when you go in, you have to scan your ticket.
You scan your
I don't
ticket.
unless there was some way that they maybe they knew. I'm wondering now if it's like a thing where like they were like did they fully sneak in? Did they like know somebody at the theater? Like I'm fully like
Yeah.
invested there.
Or like maybe you just scan the ticket to say like, hey, they checked in, but like they don't care. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just
Yeah,
wild that
I
you
mean,
would,
it wasn't a thing where like I mean, I had all of our tickets on my phone, but it wasn't like they scanned one and they just let me go through. You saw like the lady,
yeah,
I stood there and had to scan
all
every
five.
single
Yeah.
one individually, like
Hmm.
all five, and then I had to turn around and point and say like, "Oh, that's my group." Like,
Yeah.
and
And then
then when
she's
you
like, your
guys
group. Yeah.
got up, like she looked back. I stood there and turned around and made sure that she looked back at me so that I could be like, "That's who I'm with."
Yeah.
Like, yeah. So
So
I don't.
I don't know if like And some people don't need help getting to their seats. So, like, some people just are fine and get there. So maybe
Yeah,
she was just one of those people that acted like, oh, I know where I'm going, and just
it
chose to
was two
sit.
people,
Yeah,
wasn't it? I feel like
yeah.
it was
It
two
was like
people
a
together.
couple, I think. Um,
Yeah.
but to be disrespectful,
Yeah.
to have your phone out after they announced to not have your phone out,
Mhm.
and then to be in two other people's seats.
Yeah.
Come on, this
Co
is
it's common theater etiquette, I don't know.
this is not the AMC. Like,
Yeah.
you no,
I mean, even then, like, in movie theaters, like, to a point, it kind of, like well, cause like, I don't know. I mean, I love going to the movies, it's, like, one of my favorite things, so, like,
yeah,
even with that, I get pissed off if I'm, like, at a movie theater and, like, people are being loud and, like, talking or, like,
yes,
if you see somebody's, like, bright ass light from their
yep,
phone, I'm just like,
kicking your
if you're gonna do
seat.
that, like
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. I just feel like if you're gonna act that way, if you do all that, just watch like, there's plenty of streaming services, you can watch stuff at home, like
wait
why
until it
go out
comes
of your
out.
way to go to
Yeah,
the movies if you
yeah,
do that? I don't know, but to do it in a Broadway theater is next
yeah,
level, like crazy
yeah,
to me.
yeah. And so the first song, "No One Mourns the Wicked," and I love the beginning of the play because you don't expect it unless you see it,
Mhm.
but like you don't expect it, but it's the beginning, like dun 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 dun, dun and but then they have the dragon that's like sitting at the top moving, and the eyes are glowing as they're playing the beginning music, and it's one of my favorite openings.
It's so good.
It's so good. And then during
I
that,
I was I
yeah,
I was, like, locked in the second that I saw the, like, opening when they have, like, the maneuver with the dragon.
yes,
'Cause that's not in, like, the movie, like, at
no,
all. Like, that's, like, one they don't, like, utilize that in any way.
no,
So, like, when that was happening, like, I saw obviously, you see it before you sit down, but when you see, like, the technicalities of, like, how they make it
yep,
work, I was just like, "Wow."
yeah. Um, so when no one mourns the wicked, um, is that when you find out, right? Th-
Like, yeah, they go into the whole, like,
Yeah, they go to
backstory.
the backstory, and I always found
That's
it
a
interesting because
mhm.
again, like if you don't know and never seen it, it
Yeah.
and it's the first time you're seeing it, like it makes so much
Mhm.
sense as you're watching it.
Oh, yeah.
Um, to see,
It's
oh,
like a
this,
very satisfying like my fiance had never seen it and
yeah,
he never knew like the story of it. So that was the first thing that he said like when the musical had ended, he was like, "Oh my God, it was so like satisfying like
yes,
seeing how like the
everything
symbolism of
connects. Yeah,
everything and like how it tied into like later on with the events of like the Wizard of Oz and
yes,
everything." Like that was the main thing kept saying. He was like, "It's a very like satisfying like musical."
yeah. And I love, yeah, no one mourns the wicked. So they go through the history of how she was born, and let's just say her mom's a hoe. Um, so,
Spoilers.
spoilers.
I was about to say, do you want to maybe just go through like our like favorite
Yes,
parts so we
yes,
don't like I
yeah,
mean like we talked about like the movie and stuff, but we
yes,
could go through like our favorite like parts of the musical.
yeah. So to go back to her mom being a hoe. So like in the beginning, obviously it's the backstory of how she's green, and you realize, okay, she cheats on her husband with the wizard. You don't know he's the wizard until later on, um, when he
Mhm.
gives her something green, and then she ends up having Alphaba, who ends up green. Makes a lot of sense when you're going through the film, and you see like,
Mhm.
oh, Emerald City, that's all green, and
Yeah.
then you find out later on because Glinda finds out later on, like, oh, this is the last thing that Elfie left me was his green bottle that was her mom's.
Yeah.
The last time I saw that green bottle was right here with
Mhm.
all your stuff.
Yep.
And then that's when you find out. You're like, oh, okay. Like it
Mhm.
makes so much sense. And just
Yeah.
throughout the whole film and in the play, it's like, oh, um, in Dancing Through Life, he says like mindless and careless, and you know, you can go through life
Yeah, when
without
he's like,
having a brain.
life's more painless
It's
for
when
the
you're
brainless.
brainless, for the
And
brainless.
I love how they threw that in. And spoil again, this is going to contain spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled for the entirety
Yes.
of the
Yep.
plot of Wicked, either watch the slime tutorial that I just mentioned and then come back and listen, or go see it. Hey, you might as well go see it.
Yeah, or watch the film too. It's only the
Yeah,
first part, so you're missing a lot.
yeah, yeah. I can't wait
I
to
can't
see
wait.
what they're gonna even do with the
Yes.
second part. That's gonna be
Oh, yeah.
crazy.
And so
Oh
like
my god.
little those that's one of my favorite things about the musical and the movie, like those little tiny details where
Yeah, the
you're
little
watching
references.
it and you're like, okay, mindless, careless, all that kind of stuff. It's
Uh-huh.
brainless when you're brainless. You're like, well, he is that kind of popular dumb guy kind of
Hmm.
vibe. So you know, if you're not thinking about it, you're like, it makes sense for the character. But then later
Yeah,
on, you find out that, oh, he's the scarecrow
yeah.
and he doesn't have a brain. And you're like,
Yeah, well,
oh,
because
it's so
he
good.
starts
Yeah,
out being like Fiero starts out being like
yeah,
the definition of like a himbo, basically.
yep, yep,
He really is though. It's like he's just like walking around like just well, at least in Jonathan Bailey's version, he's just flirting with everyone
yeah.
basically.
And he was kind of like that in the musical, um,
Yeah.
but it is kind of like, oh,
Jonathan Bailey turns it up to 11
oh
though,
yeah,
I
he
would
does.
say,
Thank
for
God,
sure.
love him.
Yeah, I know. I said this to you guys too while we were watching it. Like, I'm not discrediting the Broadway actor. He does a great job
Oh
and he's great.
yeah,
But I just feel like once you see Jonathan Bailey do the part, you're like
you never go back.
watching anyone else. That's what I mean. You're watching some. And I
Yeah,
said to you guys afterwards, it was like the only thing was when I saw the portrayal of Fiyero, I was just thinking, wow, I wish it was Jonathan Bailey instead.
don't we all? I think so.
So that again, but thinking about like because the second half of the musical is such a different tone
Yes.
than the first half,
Hmm.
and it'll be the same as the movie. Like, I mean, I think the movie did a good job of like being a little bit more like serious because like the Broadway musical has to be so fast paced.
Yeah, you
Like with the
don't
movie,
really.
they
Yeah.
like they get more like the movie they get more in depth into like the emotional part of
Yes.
it, and my thing is they've only done the first part, and the second half of the musical is so like
Uh
dark
huh.
and like emotional in
Yep.
nature. So I'm like, what are they gonna do like
Yes.
with the movie's gonna have like more time, and I'm pretty sure they said there's gonna be like more. I'm pretty sure there's two original songs that they're adding in too, because there's like by
Yeah.
default there's like less songs in the second part
Yeah.
than the first part.
So they're
So
adding
like
to like compensate. Yeah.
so like, oh no, like
Hmm.
literally
And
that meme where they're like, oh, part two, I'm gonna be leaving the theater in a stretcher, like
yeah,
just taking me out in an
take me
ambulance.
out. And then so you have Fierro as the Scarecrow, and then you have Bach as the Tin Man, and I
Uh
think
huh.
it's during No March of the Witch Hunters. I think where he says he has a score to settle with the witch.
Uh huh.
Um, you know,
Yep.
and because of her, I'm heartless, and I'll be heartless killing her. Um,
I can't wait to see
and
Anson
like in
Slater
the
say that.
musical, yeah, in the musical, you see when he says that, you see him as the Tin Man.
Hmm.
And I thought it was clever the way they did it, where like he was in the wheelchair, practically dying,
Hmm.
and then
Yeah.
she does the spell on him, takes him behind the dresser, and then
Yeah.
the next time he comes out, he's in like a full Tin Man costume.
Yeah.
It'll
Yeah.
be interesting to
When
see.
when oh god, I can't wait to see what the
Yep.
makeup. I mean you kind of you don't see it in direct. You see them like in the background, like in when they show the opening of the movie, like they you just get like a like
Yes.
and
Yeah.
it's a really like passing shot of just like Dorothy walking with them.
Yeah.
So you kind of see what it would look like from like their like back
Yeah.
silhouette, but like I I can't
I
wait to see
but
what it's gonna look like
on
in real
Ethan
time.
Slater.
It's gonna be
It's
crazy.
and also to see Fierro as the Scarecrow.
Yeah, I know.
Jonathan
It's gonna
Bailey.
be crazy. I know.
Um.
You're gonna
Yeah.
be like, hear me out.
Yep. And
Hear
then
me out.
what got me, and maybe it doesn't make sense. in my brain, maybe it's just my brain, but like there's a scene with the lion that's all caged
Mhm.
up. They set him
Yeah.
free, Elphaba and Fiero. So in the March of the Witch Hunters, after the Tin Man says like his spiel about himself, he
Mhm.
catch me
You're right.
yawning. No, goodness,
It's okay. Wicked just has that effect on people. It's okay.
it's just Ethan Slater.
Ethan Slater jumps. No, 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 I will never
As
forget.
SpongeBob.
I will never forget when I went to go see, because I saw it in the theaters multiple times. Like the movie I saw with you guys, and then I went with my friend Jess. Shout out if you're listening. But I took her to go see it, and it was her first time seeing the movie. And then when he came on the screen, every time he came on the screen, she was like, "Oh my God, Ethan Slater jump scare." She kept saying it
Don't scare. Um, but in the musical, when after he references like himself as the Tin Man, he says, you know, if she didn't let the lion go, he wouldn't be a coward. Basically, like I forget the exact lyrics. I'm gonna look it
Yeah.
up because I think it's March of the Wind.
Maybe the movie will kind of like bridge the gap in between
Yeah.
that.
So like
I'm also
he
wondering what I'm also like wondering, like, are they gonna have the lion like talk? Like,
yes,
I wonder, because like in the Wizard of Oz, like obviously he's a
he talks,
solely,
but
yeah, right, like he,
if you're referencing like Wicked, I think he would end up talking because
yeah,
they're trying to get the animals not to talk, so she set him free. But like he says,
yeah,
for himself, it's due to her made of tin. Her spell made this occur. So for once, I'm glad I'm heartless. I'll be heartless killing her. And then he goes, and the lion also has a grievance to repay. If she let him fight his own battles when he was young, he wouldn't be a coward today. To me, that doesn't make sense because wouldn't you think that him being caged up his whole life
hmm,
would make him more of a coward than him being set free?
yeah. So somewhere, maybe there's somewhere in between there. Like obviously, they'll hopefully they bridge the gap of that somehow, because
Yeah,
maybe maybe the lion is told one thing, like maybe he grows up around, I don't know,
yeah,
maybe he runs into someone, maybe somebody puts that idea like in his
yeah,
head, or maybe like Bach is like
yeah.
just upset with what happened
I
with
think that's
him.
probably what it
So like,
is, and so he's trying to make Elphaba seem worse than she is. So it's like, look, well, look at me, and also look at this. Even though the
yeah.
lion's fine, and he is a bit of a coward, obviously, but like, I think he'd be worse off if he were still trapped.
Well,
He wouldn't be
yeah, because
talking at
like,
all. He would be scared. You saw how he treated them. They all treated.
yeah.
So I think it's just Bach's way of getting everyone more
Yeah, he's
agree
probably
with
like,
her.
if I'm
Yeah,
right, exactly. He's probably like, well, if you're with me on this, like, we'll just say this or whatever. But
yeah,
like, I just wonder, like, how does that, like, they're really gonna have to probably bridge the gap with like his
yeah,
storyline, because there's obviously gonna be like, from the images from like the trailer, and there is like a part where they are gonna show Dorothy
yeah,
and all of them walking in with the wizard, because they show that scene of her with the silver shoes
yeah,
walking in to see the wizard. So it's like they're gonna have to bridge that gap or give him
yeah,
some kind of storyline. So I don't know.
yeah.
The
And then
musical really leaves that open. So
yeah,
I'm guessing that with that extra added time with the movie, hopefully they
oh
do
yeah,
create some sort of satisfying like reason for that.
yeah,
Also,
uh,
like, how does Buck run into him to begin with? Like, I'm
yeah,
just like, where was he?
yeah.
Maybe after he like got turned into a tin man, maybe like people like started to exile him or something. Like, I'm just
Because
like,
he
how
was
did he?
different. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. So like he ends up like in. Well, I mean, if you're thinking about like the Wizard of
Wizard of
Oz,
Oz.
like
Yeah,
they all end up like in different parts of like. Well, obviously Pharaoh's in a cornfield, and then um the Tin Man is like in like a just like a forest, and then the same thing with the lion. He's also like in the forest somewhere.
yeah,
And then originally with the Wizard of Oz, they all don't meet until Dorothy comes across each one of them.
yeah,
So I'm like, I wonder how they're gonna change that.
yeah,
It's gonna be so interesting to see.
yeah. And then Another reference would be Alphabet's sister.
Mhm.
So basically, Madame Morrible and the wizard, mainly Madame Morrible, um,
Yeah.
they want to bring her back. Like they want to get her believing, taking the book with her. So,
Mhm.
um, and this, I hate Glinda for this,
The
but
book the book being the Grimoire.
yes, um,
Book of spells or the lost
yes,
language of
yeah,
spells, I think they say.
and it annoyed Linda annoyed me for that. But she was like, "Oh, if you want to
Mhm.
get her back, like the way to do it is her sister. Like she loves her sister,
Yeah.
and she was said
Mhm.
to come take care of her. Like so, if you pretend and say like, oh, her sister's, if we make it seem like oh, her sister's in danger, like she'll come back.
Mhm.
But then Madame Morrible was like, we can't just pretend she's too smart for that. Like
Yeah.
let's get her. Um,
Yeah.
and Madame
And
Morrible,
Madame Marvel's specialty is weather.
whether
Weather. I love when she that line is just so satisfying though, both said in the musical and then also by Michelle Yeoh in the movie. I
yeah,
just love it. It rolls off the tongue when she's like, "Weather is my specialty," and then you're like,
yes,
"Interesting. This will come
interesting.
in handy later."
Yeah, and you
I
don't
mean, like,
realize it
inconvenient.
obviously. Um,
Yeah.
and then so that references the house falling on
Mhm.
um her sister. So she basically has her sister killed. Um, and then that makes her even more evil. Um,
Yeah.
so like a lot of
Man,
ties.
I gotta watch back The Wizard of Oz, like, now, like,
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah,
when The Wizard of Oz was made, none of this lore occurred, but people have been saying, like, on the internet, like, "Oh, after you know all of the Wicked lore, go back and watch The Wizard of Oz because it's, like, such an interesting experience too, like,
yes,
when
yeah,
Galinda's like, "Be gone before I drop a house on you too." I'm like, "Oh."
yes. Oh, yeah. I definitely gotta watch it again. It's been so long.
Yeah.
Um, so I definitely have to rewatch it. And then I love at the end, um, where Glinda and Elfie are like talking, and Glinda's like, just let her go. And it's
Yeah.
just like you can tell she just has like a little latch thing that would have Dorothy in it, and she's just
Uh-huh.
like underneath in this like I don't know what you call it, like basement type thing. And
Yeah.
she's just like, let her go. It's just a pair of shoes.
Yeah. She's like, "It's just a pair of shoes,"
And
and
that's
then
coming
there's, like,
from Glinda,
there's
so
right, right.
she's like, it's just a pair of shoes.
Yeah.
But it's not really in hindsight. Like
Yeah,
that
but I
was
mean, if they're again, I don't know how much they're tying in like Wizard of Oz lore with this, but
yeah.
like in the original Wizard of Oz, when she puts like when Glinda gives her the shoes, she puts a spell on them so that they can't get like she
Yes.
can't take them off her feet. Like they
Yep.
physically don't can't come off of her
Yeah.
feet. So it's odd that she says that and then it's like, oh, she can't take the like I don't it's so weird because like originally it's like, oh, I can't take the shoes off.
Yeah.
And she's like, there they are and there they'll stay.
Yes. Um and the shoes are not red. Um they're
Yeah, that was,
silver.
they're more like, Wicked is more, like, accurate towards, like, the original, like, books, like, the L.
Yes.
Frank Baum,
Yep.
like, Wizard of Oz books, because originally the shoes were always described in the book as silver.
Yep.
They just changed them to red because it looked because the original Wizard of Oz was,
Partially red.
released in
Yeah.
black and white,
Yeah.
so when the shoes were silver, they were kinda, like, fading and you couldn't see them, so when they made them like a red color,
Yeah.
you could see them better in the black and white, and then also they really did pop when they made it,
Yep.
like, color,
Mhm.
but it's nice that they're going back to the roots of it with this,
Yes. Yeah.
and then obviously they're keeping them that way in the movie because when you see Dorothy's feet in the, like, trailer, it's also,
Yep.
like, silver, which is cool.
And then at the end when she was when they say, "Oh, she got melted by like a little girl," and you can see um like they do the shadows figures.
Mhm.
You can see that it's
Yeah.
Dorothy that's like getting her.
Yeah.
But what would you say favorite, least favorite parts, songs?
I can tell you what my least favorite song is
Oh,
with
I can tell you too.
complete certainty, and it's probably the same song. Well, technically, now that I've seen both parts of the musical, I
It's
think
the
I have
same.
2 least favorite songs,
Oh, my
but they're both from
what's
the same character.
oh, my first one is Something Bad.
Oh, okay.
Um,
I liked that a little bit more in the musical, honestly,
yeah,
because, I don't know, I just liked it better. Like, in the movie, they kind of, like, condensed it, like, it was a they made, like, a whole, like, separate scene where, like,
yes.
Elphaba goes and,
Yeah,
kinda, like, sneaks into, like, the meeting with that Dr. Dilliman is having with, like, his other animal
yeah,
friends. That would've been interesting to see in, like, the musical, I don't
yeah,
know. They made that specifically for the movie because in the musical, they just have them sing it, like, after they're discussing, like,
yeah,
what happened in his class. So that was where I was like, "Eh," you know,
yeah,
but that's your least favorite song?
yeah, probably. Like, it's
I think
just so boring.
true.
What's your least favorite?
I just have a little bit of, like, a soft spot for Dr. Dillman, especially in the musical, it, like, made I felt a little more,
Oh,
like, bad
yeah.
for him, like, in the movie, he's just, like, CGI, like and I was just kind of, like, amused by the fact that it was Peter Dinklage because I was just thinking,
Oh,
like,
yeah.
"This is the guy from Game of Thrones," like, the whole time,
Yeah.
like, the guy from Elf,
Oh,
but
yes, yeah.
yeah, yeah. "Call me Elf one more time." You're an angry Elf. But, I don't like either one of the songs that the wizard does.
Um,
I don't
I
like
like it better
I don't
in the musical, but
yeah,
I like Jeff Goldblum, and, like, his
yeah,
acting was fine, but his singing compared to the musical, I did not like.
yeah. I mean, he kind of has, like, the vibe of, like a lounge, like, jazz singer.
Yeah,
Like, that's kind of, like,
because
what
I
he gives
do
off, like, that
because there is A Sentimental Man, which is,
mhm,
again, kind of boring, um,
yeah.
but then Wonderful is not that bad.
No,
In the
no.
musical, I like it, but again, in the movie, I'm like, "Eh."
I mean, Wonderful, we'll have to see how it sounds because we
Yes.
haven't heard that from
Oh,
him.
that's
We've
true.
only heard
Oh, yeah, it wasn't in
Sentimental
the
Man.
yeah.
Yeah, Wonderful's in part 2.
Yes.
I mean, if I had to pick between the 2 of them, I don't like Sentimental
Yeah.
Man more
Yeah.
because especially after like, in the moment when you're, like you have that little, like you don't know the rest of the, like, plot yet,
Oh,
and you
yeah.
kinda have, like, your doubts about him, like, a bit, but you're like, "Oh, okay, well, maybe," but then it's especially, like, ugh, like, I roll, like, after you know the fact of, like, how he is and, like,
Yeah.
why he really wants Elphaba there.
Yeah.
You know? So then after that, I'm just like, "Ugh, sure, sentimental, sure."
Mhm.
I'm just like
And I
I
don't
don't know.
like, um, when Linda finds out and she's like, "This is the last thing I have of Alfie, this green
Uh-huh.
bottle. Do you know who
Yeah.
else has this green bottle? You do." And he's like, "Oh my God, I'm her father." It's like, "No, you knew this entire time."
He definitely did.
He
I mean, he
definitely,
definitely
there's no
did.
way he didn't.
You can't be that unless there's man, if you think about it though, I'm like, this man was just kind of like traveling from like town to town and just kind of whatever. Unless there's like, if you really think about it, like maybe is he that like detached from like who's to say that
Yeah,
there's not more alphabets out there?
I
You know what I
know.
mean?
My whole
Like
alphabet
we don't
army.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, like
One
just
in
to say,
each
I mean, the
cities.
only origin, the only art close to any type of origin story of the wizard was that like James Franco movie that like came out like
Yeah.
years ago,
Yeah,
and
it's
I don't
like
even think
Oz Great and
they don't
Powerful.
consider it. Yeah, and I liked it. It was fine, but
It was
like
fine. Yeah.
it was a completely different. Like the lore is so like I don't think it's canon. Like I just think that was like a separate like
Yeah.
thing. Like I don't think it's not like I
Accurate.
don't know,
Yeah.
but like who's to say that Elphaba's his only child? You know,
Yeah.
like yeah.
It's the only one
But
he knows about.
yeah, exactly.
Um,
And I think the only reason he probably knew of her was because she was great.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
was probably the dead giveaway where he was like, "Oh,"
Yeah.
which is crazy because it's like, what is
What
in
is
that
in
stuff?
there?
Like,
And then I felt so bad. I mean, again, the mother's a hoe. Um, but
clock
why?
it.
Well, I don't get. I don't like her dad. He's an
No,
asshole for not treating
no,
Linda like his own.
yeah,
Like,
You mean
he
alphabet?
I mean, he thinks Alphaba's his, but like
Yeah,
because she's a different race, she's green.
yeah,
No.
yeah,
Um, but then as a concerned father, he's like, the only way to stop this from happening again is to like eat these flowers,
yeah. The milk flowers.
the milk flowers.
Yeah.
And she says sure. And then she eats those, which then in turns make her go into labor early.
Mhm.
And their other kid, Nessa, is disabled now
Yeah.
because she was
Yeah.
born prematurely.
Yeah.
As the father, he was doing in his mind, the right thing to make
Yeah.
sure, whatever. Not that it
Yeah.
matters, but whatever. But then the mom knowingly ate the flowers when she knows damn well it's not why, like what made.
I know.
She knows why
I know.
Glinda's.
I was like, does if we think into it, I know it's like we're like deep like analyzing this, but it's like, does divorce like exist in this world? Like, what's the
Yeah,
what's the
I
tea? Is
feel
she still
like,
just is
and
she only with him because he's like a government official? You know what I mean? Like, is there
honestly,
that whole thing of
he
it?
makes coin, he makes bank as
That's
the
probably
mayor of
why though, right? He's
Munchkinland.
like the yeah, he's like the governor of
Yeah, it's
Munchkinland. So like,
Governor of
that's
Munchkin.
probably why she just kind of like didn't
Yes,
leave him.
and why did he not question her? Maybe he did, and he forgave her. Or
Yeah,
maybe she was like, I don't know, and played dumb, and he was like, well, she probably played dumb. And he did his research and found the milk flowers, and that was it. But like, did he
yeah.
not question her at all?
I don't know.
That's like you,
It's
like
not
that's
lit.
like two
It's
white
pretty. It's a
parents.
pretty defining. It's right. It's a pretty defining factor. It's like she's green.
Yeah, like if two white parents had a baby, and the baby didn't turn out white, like would the dad's gonna be like, huh?
Yeah, right.
Like
They're like
something's a
something's
little
fishy.
weird. Something's a little
A
fishy.
little, a little, just a little.
Just a little off.
Oh
And
my
so
god.
unless he just assumed that this is something that can happen, genetic or whatever, and he was like, I don't want it to happen again, and he did the
Yeah,
milk, or he questioned her and she played dumb, and he was like, okay, then I trust you. You're my wife.
we need like a whole like separate like reality TV style show of like
Yes,
what went on in there.
we need.
Can you
Yeah, we
imagine
do
like
need
can you
reality
imagine like a
TV
reality show like
for Oz.
Times of Oz?
Yes, and I saw like a post once,
Life,
and
life and times of Oz.
yes, and it's to be like
Just all the drama. Like,
the secret lives of like Oz wives, you know. and it's and it's the husband going out doing his civic duty as the mayor or governor, and then it's just her confessionals being like, "Hmm, the wizard."
she's like, yeah, the wizard. Yeah, the wizard's coming over.
So the wizard's coming over later, and we're gonna fuck when my husband leaves for work.
And then
No,
like, and then later on, it turns into confessionals about like Galinda like coming to terms with the fact that like Pharaoh doesn't love her. She's like, he's just so moodified and this.
yes,
And
or
she's
when,
like, and we're
or
getting
no,
married, and
no, the
I don't know.
confessional. He's been thinking,
He's been thinking, which really worries me.
which really worries me. And then you
You
have
know what they
Pierre.
need? They and Pharaoh's like, what would he say?
Pierre was like, "I've been thinking,"
I've been thinking.
or
No, you know what
it's
they
just
need?
him complimenting himself in his own confessional.
They just cut to the confessional. He's like looking. He has like a hand mirror, and he's
Yeah.
just like looking.
Damn, I look good. Damn.
No, you know what they need? There's an SNL sketch that happened in like the early 2000s where they made like it was like Real Housewives of Disney, and they made like a Real
Oh,
Housewives of
yes.
like Cinderella, and like it was when like Kristen Wiig was like still on the
Yep.
show.
Yeah.
She was like like Cinderella, and she was like drinking, and she was like, yeah, she's like, don't marry a guy that's really into shoes. And like Prince Charming's like
Yes. That's so funny.
but they need like a skit like that. I'm
Real
surprised they didn't
Housewives
do
of
that on
Oz. Yep.
SNL. Real Housewives of Oz, exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, SNL writers, if you're listening, if I see
Yes.
this in the next season,
Yes. That would be so funny.
that would be a good skit, honestly, because Ariana's hosted like multiple times,
Yeah.
so like maybe time, like for like, or maybe if like Cynthia goes on and hosts for like when Wicked for Good comes
Yes.
out,
Yep.
that would kill as a sketch.
Oh my yes, and I could just see Glinda's, like, confessionals during the Real Housewives
And she's
narrate.
like, "We're gonna go." She's like completely like when she's in that like really delusional state, and she's just like when they have their like wedding, she's like, "We're gonna get married, and everything's gonna be fine."
Everything's gonna be fine as she's, like, getting, like, choked up. Everything's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine.
And then they cut to Fiero, and he's like, "I'm sorry, I have to go look for Elphaba," and he like runs away.
Yeah, it's just that's his confessional. I gotta go look for
Yeah, he literally.
Alphaba. He's
And
been
then
thinking.
you cut to Nessa, and she's like in the chair in the house, and then she's like, "Guess who's the new governor of Munchkin Land?"
Or it's just her under the house and it's just her legs and, like, shoes. That's her
That's the
confessional.
confessional. Is
That's
just
the
her under.
confessional is, like, her after getting when the house falls on your sister.
And then you ever see in reality TV shows where they like blurt out when they're like cursing, like you just have like the blurred like thing over their face. They cut to Bach and he just starts like cursing alphabet.
Yes. But what would be, like, the you know how they have, like, symbols over, like, the cursing? I feel
Uh-huh.
like it would just be, like, the ruby slippers or something every time they
Yeah.
curse. Or Glinda would
Oh
have, like, a
man.
ball gown or, like, a crown every time she curses. Ball gown.
Okay.
And fuck, and you just see a ball gown.
Honestly, solid sketch idea. I don't know why they haven't done it
Alright,
yet.
let's go work for SNL.
Yeah, right. Please.
Let's quit our
No, but
day
the
job.
amount of they need some type of or somebody needs to do that as like a YouTube like sketch or
Yes.
parody. Maybe or somewhere or something. I mean, the closest thing that I can think of, it's not like a YouTube parody, but um, I'd say about like probably like close to 10 years back now. Um, Todrick Hall had that whole thing with
I
the Wizard of Oz.
love yes, and I still
Yeah.
to this day will go back and watch it. She did one on Mary Poppins, The Wizard of
Hmm.
Oz with,
Yeah.
Pentatonics, and he did one for Snow White with Victoria Justice.
He did like a whole thing with
Mashup,
like the
yep.
Wizard of Oz. Though, like a full like, or it was like it was part like a one man show,
Yes,
like
yeah,
part like a Wizard of Oz parody, and he did like topical things about like
yes,
he managed to put everything from like gun violence in there too, but he like made it around like forms of like the Wizard of Oz. I was like, that's amazing.
yep, mhm,
But I love that one with pentatonics. I gotta go back
yes,
and watch that now.
but if he, watches this, he needs to go back and make a Wicked parody sketch because his
Yeah,
sketches are so funny.
I know.
Um,
And then later on, I didn't like I had been watching his YouTube like for years, and then later on when I started watching Drag Race, then I realized he was a part of that too, and I was like, oh my gosh,
yep,
worlds collided. It
yeah, and
was great.
he did The Masked Singer.
Oh really?
He did a
I've never seen.
yeah,
I've only seen bits and pieces. I've never
yeah.
watched like a full episode of The Masked
Um,
Singer.
and then he did a
I definitely need
mashup. He did a mashup of TV theme songs with Frankie Grande.
to. Really?
Oh, it's
Okay, I
so
haven't seen
good.
that one.
That's so good. Their voices
I like the
together.
one too where it's like, oh, I need to listen to it. I don't even think I've heard Frankie Grande like sing, which I'm sure he's great.
Yeah.
Runs like genes in the
Hmm.
family. I'm sure he's good. But also speaking of the Grande family, I don't know if you've heard, but R.I.P. Nona Grande passed away like a week ago.
Uh,
Ariana Grande's
yeah.
grandmom like, passed
Hmm.
away. So R.I.P. Nona.
And I saw so she didn't post like she posted a picture of it, but she didn't obviously
Hmm.
say anything. And she probably can't obviously, but Frankie wrote a whole long paragraph, and I was like, oh, and I was reading it, and I was like, this is so sad.
Yeah. I saw a bunch of TikTok compilations of like her going to see her at her shows and like all the
Yes.
little things where she's like, "Oh, look at you!" Like she shows up to her show and like I think she's wearing like a fur coat or something, and then she's like, "I had to wear this for you." It's
Yes.
like so cute.
And she was there at the premiere of Wicked and got to see her in that.
Hmm. Yeah, well, that's good. At least she was able to like see her in that.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Um,
she was like up there. Like she wasn't young. She was like at
uh,
least in her 80s, maybe
yeah.
even like close to like 90. So
Yeah.
she was like. And they all always stated that she was like the matriarch of their family.
Yeah.
So like Nona's lived her a life, you know.
Yes. Yep. Um, so favorite song.
my favorite song.
I think it's tie.
I have to pick one from Act 1 and one from Act 2. Like, I can't that's now
Yeah.
I'm seeing both parts. I think from God, okay. Now I'm
I
gonna
don't
make
know
a
if I.
definitive pick. I'm basing this off of the Broadway musical alone,
Yeah.
because that's, like, basically what we're talking about, and I think I did state my favorites when we were talking about our
Yeah.
episode on the movie, but in the Broadway musical, I think my 2 favorites are The Wizard and I
Yeah.
from Act 1, and then from Act 2, it's gotta be, for me, it's No Good Deed. I
Ah,
can't,
it's
it's
so
so
good.
good.
I would pick. Well, from Act One, it's tied between The Wizard and I and Defying Gravity.
Uh-huh.
Because in Defying Gravity, like the ending of it, I mean, first of all,
Yeah.
the vocals alone, but the ending of it where she's on the broom and then
Yeah.
she's wearing just a normal size cape, and then when she goes up in the air and they have like a whole massive cape behind her when she's singing
Mhm.
like the high notes. But
Yeah.
Wizard and I is also up there. I feel like they're
Yeah.
tied. But from Act
Yeah.
Two, For Good is my favorite.
Oh god, yeah.
That's the one that
See, I
gets
couldn't
me,
even
and
that's that's
when
hard. It's so hard to pick.
that
Oh
gets
my
me,
god.
like I cried during that because that
I
song,
was a mess. I
yeah,
was a mess. I cried at least 4 or 5
yeah.
times throughout the entire
I just
show.
saw it. I look over and you're just grabbing your tissues every once in a while.
I'm
Like, yep,
literally like,
yeah.
yeah. I I
It's
might have to
so
change my
good.
Act 2 song to For Good because I think it yeah.
But
Yeah,
No
I'm
Good
changing
Deed
my Act 2
is
song to For Good.
amazing.
I know, No Good Deed is so
Yes,
good
but I
too.
For Good, like the message behind it and
Yeah.
their vocals together.
Yeah.
And I love
Ugh,
because Elfie's like, you're my, you're my only friend. And then
yeah.
Glenda's like, I had many friends, but you're the only one that mattered. And I was like, eh.
I know.
And I sent you the meme though. I
Yeah,
was
I was
cracking
just
up.
about to bring up the meme with the what's his name? Pafanthy? I think I want to say. I hope that's the
Uh,
right way to say. I think like Galinda's like one of the two like friends that always walk.
yes,
Basically, like her little like posse that she has that
yeah. I'm
walks
trying. Oh
around
yeah,
with her.
it's Pfannee. So it's
I'm pretty sure it's. I think it's
Fanny,
Pafanthy. Pafani. I'm
Fanny,
pretty sure.
or Fanny, and this P is silent. But Fanny, hearing Glenda say it, has so many friends, but only one that mattered. And then it's just his like disturbed face.
It's
I can't.
Bo and Yang just like
Oh,
upset.
yes,
And they give those friends like more of a role in the movie, which again
yeah,
I'm excited to see what happens when like the
mm-hmm.
lore continues in the second part. Because in the musical, it's not like they don't give them names in like the musical, and then
No,
she's just kind of like around like a group of people. I mean, she says the same things, but I mean they add more things into the movie, like when she's like something's wrong. I didn't get my way. Like they do the
yeah,
whole thing where they like carry her out of the scene.
yes,
And they definitely give them like more of like because of the movie, I guess they just have like the added like extra time, so they give
yeah,
them like definite like it's she has like two friends around her like consistently. Like
yeah,
she has the group of people that like walk around her and like quote unquote like worship her or whatever, but like she has like the two like consistent like friends
yeah,
in the movie that are always like there with her or like next to her in class or
yep.
when she's getting ready for the Oz Dust Ball, like they're the
Oh
ones
yeah,
that found the hat.
mm-hmm.
And she's like, "Oh, my granny gives me these hideous hats."
Yes.
And they're like, "You could give it away." She's like, "I don't hate anyone that much." They're
And
like,
they're like,
"Oh,
you do, and she's like, oh wait, I
you
do.
know."
Peer pressure. Mm.
Then she hates her. Then
Yes. And in the
but what's to come?
beginning, it always got me in the beginning too, when they're like, oh, is it true you used to be friends? She's like, well, I didn't know her. It's like, no, you were best friends. And I think you're okay to admit that. You can say,
Yeah,
I was best friends. We're no longer best friends. Like, you're fine to say that. She had to act like
yeah,
he
I
was
know.
never friends with her. And you're like, okay.
Yeah,
But she has the image to uphold. So if
yeah,
she's saying she was once friends with the Wicked Witch, you know, it's going to look bad on her part. So,
yeah. I mean, Ariana has like said it in her interviews, but Galinda's not like You know what I mean? She's kind of there's like a fakeness there to an
Oh yeah.
extent, or like a she's not really like a girl's girl. Like you can't really call her like a feminine. Well, she's like I think Ariana said at one point she's like Galinda's like the epitome of like white feminist, like just kind of
Uh-huh.
like
Yeah.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna do this in solidarity with Dr. Dillon, and I'm changing my name, and it's
Name
like
to
okay,
from Galinda to Glinda. And her friends in the movies, her friends were like clapping and cheering like she did the
they're like
most.
oh so I think Bowen Yang's character, the Pavanthe guy, he just goes so such he goes like such braverism.
Yes, something so stupid like that. But I love
Another
how,
thing that I just love,
yeah,
another thing that I just love is I love how they have like the fake words
yeah,
that they use. Like they'll be like this hideous hat or such braverism or Madame Marble goes congratulations. Like they have these like
yes,
fake words that they
uh-huh,
use, which is so funny.
yes. It cracks me up. Glinda cracks me up.
Oh my God! And so we got to shout out our two leads in the Broadway musical because they were
Yes,
insanely
so
good.
good.
Yeah, I gotta
So
look up their. I'm looking up their names right now
yes,
so I can get the excuse me the names right. But okay, so we have Allie Trim is was our Glinda
Mm,
or Glinda,
Glinda
and
now.
then
Yes,
Lencia Lencia. So I don't know exactly how to pronounce the name, but Lencia Kabady was our Alphaba,
yep. So
and
good,
both of them were just
so good.
incredible.
Yeah,
I I was blown away.
yes.
And it's insane to me because the girl Allie Trim actually has a direct. Well, I mean, she's worked with Ariana Grande in the past. They did a musical called 13 the musical.
Oh
So
yeah.
I'm like, I just thought that
Mm,
that was so interesting that when they had done a musical together in the past, and then both of them ended up playing Glinda in different like iterations, which I thought was really cool.
yeah. And then after the musical, we went out to eat because we had time before we had to catch the train. Um,
Hmm.
so we went to a sake bar. No,
Yes.
you won't.
Hell
No,
yeah.
I will not be catching. I will not be drinking any more sake to save my life. The first time we had that for your birthday, like
Yeah.
I don't know if it was like made stronger or if that's just how it tastes, but I can't.
Yeah.
I can't.
It's not for you.
It's not for me. Um, but I did get an apple teeny.
Uh-huh.
And I'm telling you, I don't know what they put in there. I felt like I was gone. Like I was there, but I wasn't there.
And it seemed to get stronger over time somehow, which
Yes.
isn't really how alcohol is supposed to work.
Yeah. And then Brie and I also had it. So the two of us together were just like yapping
Yeah.
away.
Yeah.
And then,
And I had an espresso martini, and it also felt the same way. Like it was pretty. It was like not strong in the moment when I had it, but then as we were walking
it's
back to like
yes.
the train, and when we were like on the train, I was like, oh, like what's
Yep. And
going?
then Brie was like, "Oh, careful getting up." Cuz after you drink and it wasn't a lot. Like it was just one martini glass, but still. I'm a
Yeah.
lightweight. She's like, "What? Like be careful when you get up." And I got up and sat right back down. I was like, "Whoa." And then I got back up and then like walking in the streets of New York, like trying to get back to the Amtrak. I was like, "Oh my gosh."
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
then like you said, sitting on the on the way home, like
We
I
were all texting in our group chat, and we were just like, is anybody like getting like more drunk like as we're
like
sitting
I
here?
felt like I was getting more drunk and I wasn't even doing anything. And I was like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah.
Like, it was one
You
drink.
know, I know. You know that one Vine where the lady was making the drink and she's like two shots of
Yeah.
vodka and she's just like
She's
pouring
just
it in. I think
pouring like the whole big bottle. Yes.
POV, the person at the bar making our drinks, two shots of vodka.
2
Gloop, gloop,
shots of
gloop.
vodka.
It's just
Yeah.
funny.
The bartender at Willow Pill just not caring. Did not mix it. She just
Oh, well, you know what I could say though? At least with the drinks at the sake bar, at least it didn't taste like that. You know what I
no.
mean? They were at least well
They
like
were
mixed.
well made. and they tasted great. Like it's a good
Yeah.
drink. I did not think it was going to hit me that hard.
Yeah.
Oh my no. Will I get it again though? Yeah. When you just want to live a little. And then I ordered rounds of gyoza. Oh my gosh. Must have
Yeah.
been, I don't know if I was just drunk or if I was actually that hungry, but mm, no.
I mean, to be fair, it had been like a couple of like because we ate like early in the
That's
morning, and then
true.
we like went
Yeah.
like before the show. We like well before the show we stopped at a couple of shops too. We checked
Yeah.
out Nintendo World and M&M World. So and then Wicked was like 2.5 hours or something
Yeah.
like that. So it was like from like morning until like we didn't really have like a lunch. Then we
Yeah.
it was like dinner time by the time we went out. So like
Yeah.
it made sense that you were
Yeah.
like hungry again.
Hmm.
I
And
didn't know. I mean, literally, me and my fiance just like, got like ice cream, and then
yeah.
by the time we were like home, we were like, yeah, we're hungry.
Yeah.
So like, so it makes sense.
Yes.
But yeah, we had ourselves a time.
Yes.
We were
And then
living it up.
so at Nintendo World, I got a hoodie. Um, and I love it. But it's an Animal Crossing hoodie that has the roost on it, like the roost symbol.
Uh huh.
And the inside of the hoodie is like the inside of the roost, like that patterned plaid pattern. Oh, love it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the pattern that they have on like the
The
wall,
walls, yeah.
or, like the roof when you go in.
Yep. And then from Wicked, we got a fan
Mm-hmm.
that says "Witch Please."
Yeah, it's so good.
It's so good. And then you got the magnet, right?
Yeah, I did because I had gotten a magnet when we went to go see Little Shop of Horrors, so I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, let me get a magnet," because like,
Yeah.
I also have, like, magnets, like, on our fridge, like, if we go like, when we went to DC, I got a magnet for the fridge, and, like,
Oh yeah.
the one time I went to, like, Maryland, I got, like, a magnet, so, like, I think that's cool, you can, like, almost, like, take, like, a souvenir from, like,
Yeah.
each, like, place that you visit,
Hmm.
so, I'm thinking the next time if we go back or, like, I need to get one that just says, like, New York, like,
Yeah.
just to one of those, like either from, like, a tourist shop or something, like, one that's just, like, a New York City, like, magnet,
Yeah.
you know?
And they have a ton of those. Every like two stores was one of
Oh,
those
yeah.
stores that had all the I Heart New York merch, and you're like, well, but back in the day when you were a kid and you would go on like a school trip to New York, like
Mhm.
that was the big thing,
Yeah.
and you felt
I mean,
so cool.
I definitely do have a shirt from, like I probably, like, either, like not when we went in Cabrini, I didn't get it then, but, like, in, like, high school or, like, grade school, because my 8th grade trip and I had also had a high school trip that was both New York, so, like, one of those times or I definitely have, like, an I Heart New York t-shirt
Yeah.
from, like, one of those times.
Hmm.
But yeah, the when you just walk past like just like window browsing, like you just see like so many like insane like tourist
Hmm.
trappy
Yeah.
like oh yeah, come in here, we got it. It's like it would be the most random thing. It'll be like yeah, it's like Miss Piggy on top of like the Emerald State, like she's
Yes.
like the Statue of Liberty or like something like
Yep.
just such odd like things when we were walking by, and it was
Yes.
raining, so like I felt like we weren't like, I mean, it was raining, like, pretty heavily, and, like, we wanted to get to where we were going next, so, like, we really weren't, like, paying
Oh yeah.
attention, but, like, it was just, like, a fever dream just, like, walking through the streets while it was, like, pouring raining on
Yeah.
us.
Hmm.
Meanwhile, I just look back and see Brie with her poncho.
Oh, her one-armed poncho.
Yeah, and then at one point, we just look back and then her husband's like, "I'm gonna make, like, a second hole in the poncho," and she's like, "Oh, no," and then he just does it.
Yeah. So she
It's like
gets
a
it's one
makeshift
of those
second arm.
yeah, it was like a free poncho she got from her bank. And then
Uh-huh.
um she puts it on and she put it on correctly because she's wearing the hood part just fine. So you know it's
Right.
not like she's putting it on backwards or sideways, like it's on correctly. And she sticks her arm in the one hole and then she goes to stick her arm in the other hole and it doesn't exist. And we're standing there in the rain trying to like find where the armhole is, and it's not there. And he just goes, yeah, "I'll make a hole," and she's like, "No, it's fine." And he goes, "Nope," and he rips a hole. in the poncho.
Oh,
It's so funny.
some, sometimes you
Yeah,
gotta be the change you want to see in the world.
yeah. And screw that
Sometimes if your
bag.
poncho, sometimes right, why would they ever make a poncho with just one arm? That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
I'm dead. I think
So
the only time I ever wore a poncho was in Disney World.
I think I have they have ponchos at work, and I think I took one home
Yeah,
once because I didn't have
yeah,
my umbrella with me, and I was like, well,
yeah. I mean, it is a good last resort, but if you have the option of having an umbrella, I'm gonna pick an umbrella every
oh
time.
yeah, yeah,
Because a lot of the ponchos, unless they're like the really like high quality, and even then they're just kind of like the same quality as like a raincoat, like just that
yeah,
like rubber, like they're like a
yes,
thick rubber at best.
yeah. But her poncho was the thin material, so it wasn't even like
I know.
good quality either. Like, well,
Yeah. Hey,
uh,
got the job done. Yes.
yeah. So I was scrolling through, and I have a status which kind of fits with
Okay.
Wicked, but doesn't at the same time. So 15 years ago, June 18th, 2010, I said, I love SpongeBob. How
Who
fitting.
you are? Who you are, Ariana Grande?
Yes, I must have just
That's
loved. I
that's
mean,
Ariana Grande when she got onto the set of Wicked the first
yeah,
day.
I love
I love
SpongeBob.
Sponge. I'm dead.
It's
Oh my
still
God.
to honestly to this day true.
Yeah. Hey, SpongeBob's the best.
It's the most quotable cartoon of our generation. There is a
Easily.
meme and a quote for every occasion. I feel like we should get
Wait,
matching SpongeBob tattoos.
I would easily get a SpongeBob tattoo.
I
You could pick
think
like one SpongeBob like ism or like something to get a tattoo. What would you get?
ah, maybe Doodle Bob, a classic. But I also think Caveman SpongeBob is so funny looking.
Uh-huh.
What
I
would
don't
you
know.
get?
There's so many. There's two that always stick out in my mind. It's just like the funniest images I think from SpongeBob. The the one of Patrick where he has like the giant like water bottle like thing on top of his head and he's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
10 gallon hat and he's just sitting there
yeah.
like smiling with the giant like water on
Uh-huh.
his head. Or maybe the thing where like it's where SpongeBob is like wearing like the like he's dressed up in like the purple like dress and has like the purse and he's like, "Oh my, this
Honey,
purse is so
yes.
heavy."
Mhm. And the
The
lipstick
like
and everything.
meme.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Oh man.
I do love the episode where it's the Super Bowl one and they're practicing and it's like, oh, is mayonnaise an instrument? Like that whole scene. But then
Uh-huh.
when Sandy fights Patrick in the back, like you don't see them fighting, like she takes him outside and he comes back in and his body, like the tuba is like inside. So like his body's not in the tuba, but like the top of his face is at the end of the tuba, and his
Yeah.
body's just basically the tuba or the trumpet or whatever, and it's so funny.
Oh, I'm dead. Yeah, that would
Or
be
you
really
can get the, SpongeBob and Patrick when they're like overly tanned. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like too tanned.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or I don't know how this would be. I don't think it could be. I don't think it could be a tattoo, but my ultimate favorite quote from SpongeBob is when he just like randomly like goes through the sand and like pops up next to the guy with the campfire as the marshmallow and he's like, "Can I borrow a couple of these?" And the guy's like, "Mm-hmm." He's like
Uh-huh.
eating the marshmallow.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
maybe like the guy sitting there with the marshmallows
Or
like
like the
as he's
scene
like
where he's
popped
like,
up from the sand.
yeah, or when he's running or walking, whatever, and he steps through the guy's potato salad.
It took us 3 days to make that potato
It took
salad,
us
buddy.
3 days. I'm telling you, you can just there's a quote for literally every occasion.
I can't wait
Like,
until we're all like 80 something years old and in a nursing home. God bless those nurses that are just gonna
God bless the
have
nurses
SpongeBob
that have to
on.
deal with
They're
us
just gonna have
now.
They're just gonna have SpongeBob on repeat in every room, like despite the fact that it's like gonna be like different people, different backgrounds, different
Yes.
age. The common theme is gonna be every single person in the room. If we're all
Yeah.
like similar ages, everyone's gonna have
Yeah.
SpongeBob on.
And we're gonna be Mermaid Man and Barnacle Boy. We're just gonna be like the old people. Or no, you gotta get Old Man Jenkins tattooed on you. And I love the scene where it's like, who did that? That guy. And he goes to like beat up Old Man Jenkins like in the street.
He's like, I love the young people.
I love the young people. I yeah. Yep. Well, I did see a cute
Uh,
tattoo idea, which was all three of the houses, just in like an outline.
that's adorable.
That's
Yeah,
adorable. But
that is
like,
adorable.
nah, you gotta go something really funny. Or when the SpongeBob, where he's like the chicken and he's like mocking them. He's mocking Squidward, I think, but he's mocking and he's like the chicken. It's so
Oh
funny.
yeah, when he makes like the mocking face. I know
Yeah.
what you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
They're so good. It's endless. You could well, I mean, that's why people just have like, you could probably have like a sleeve of just like SpongeBob
Yeah,
tattoos.
a whole.
It'd be a lot
And
of
when
commitment, but
SpongeBob's sick and he's like blown up, and Sandy goes over to help, Patrick's over,
hmm
and he puts his hand in the sink with gloves on, and then pops the
Don't
hands out and
touch me,
goes,
I'm
"Don't touch me, I'm sterile." Yep, I would get that. Yep.
scared.
Not even like Patrick saying it, just the quote somewhere on my arm. Don't touch me,
Don't
I'm
touch me,
sterile.
I'm scared.
My next boyfriend's gonna
But
be like, huh?
you gotta, you gotta hope that the person that does the tattoo knows the reference because they'll
Yes.
be like, "Oh,
Huh? My next boyfriend's gonna be very confused.
sterile." Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Good
You're
to
being
know.
upfront about it.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad, I guess.
I don't have like a status, but I just have something stupid. It's from Um, because I just kept like, you know how like with if you don't have a specific memory for the specific day, you can just kind of filter out your post and
Oh
just
yeah.
look through like the certain like time. So this was from August 8th of 2012, and it's a picture that I took of, I'm assuming it's from a magazine. It's a picture of Harry Styles and his like, you know how like when guys like their pants are like sagging low and you can like see like
Oh.
the like boxers or whatever. I
Uh-huh.
took a picture of that and then I said, someone tell this hoe to pull up his pants. From August 8th, 2012. It's like,
2012. Yep.
oh thanks. Everybody definitely needed to know that.
Yep. That's what I don't get with these statuses that we make. I look back and
Yeah.
like, no one cares. Like,
It's like
why did I
extra.
think that was important to like mention?
We were all like extra, extra. Read all about it.
Yeah. Harry Styles has his pants down.
Like, okay, girl.
But you
I
know,
guarantee
did you
you,
get any likes on
girl.
that? Do you know?
I don't. It just has the option underneath where it says insights, but it doesn't. I don't
Ah.
think I did that. Everybody was like,
Well,
okay,
because the fandom was big back then, so like maybe you did
yeah,
get some traction on that.
maybe. But again, this was Facebook. It wasn't like a Tumblr post or anything like
Oh
that.
yeah.
Like I definitely had like Tumblr posts that like blew up like in the day,
Oh
like in
yeah.
the middle of like the One Piece
Tumblr, you could
fandom.
post anything and it would just get blown up.
Oh yeah,
Is Tumblr still around?
it is. I
Okay.
imagine it's not what it used to be, but
Yeah.
I think it definitely is still around, and people still do it for like certain like fandom stuff.
Yeah.
But it's definitely not what it was. We're definitely not in the golden age of it anymore.
Oh no.
Oh man, good times, good times.
Yep. Ah. But definitely go see the
That's all.
musical.
That's also a SpongeBob
Oh
reference.
yes.
Remember, he's like, make out reef. Good times, good.
Good times. And you're like, oh
It's like, okay, 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 Squidward.
yeah. But definitely go see the musical.
Yes.
If you have not seen it,
Now that we just diverted and talked about SpongeBob tattoos for the last 20
yeah.
minutes.
But definitely go watch the movie, see the musical. Even not on Broadway, just see it in general. It's so good.
Yeah,
The music's
yeah.
good. Ugh,
Because I'm sure there's other iterations of it. Like I know, like I don't think it's not in Philly right now, but
no.
if it ever comes back, I will definitely want to
Oh
see it
yeah.
in
Yeah.
Philly. And then I know there's probably like they have like different versions of it all over the world. Like I
Oh
know
yeah.
there's like theater wherever.
Yeah.
Go see your local production. Just if you have any random like
I know. Yeah.
random like local theater,
Mhm.
just go see
Support
it
the
in any
arts.
form.
Yes.
But would you
Sup-
say?
oh, support the arts. Go see.
Oh hell yeah!
Mhm.
Now more than ever,
Oh yeah.
please.
Mhm.
At a time when people are being asked to just, oh God, I
I
can't even
can't.
get into.
Yeah.
You come to this pod for escapism. We don't need to get into the news. You know what's going
Yeah.
on.
You see what's happening.
Like,
You know.
ugh, Lord,
This is what I
it's gonna be
think
long.
of the
It's a long.
news.
It's already been a long. Yeah,
That's what I
yeah,
think of the
right.
news.
Yeah, God. You know what I watched? I rewatched today, and it felt a lot less. It felt more realistic now than it has ever felt. I rewatched the first Hunger Games movie today,
Ooh,
like
I gotta
just randomly,
rewatch
like
that.
it was on. Honestly, it slapped. Like I forgot it slapped like that
Yeah.
much. Like I watched it today, and then there were certain. Well, obviously, we're not at the point where like we're fighting to the death for people's amusement. Thank God. But parts of it like just felt like, ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
like this
Mhm.
was not. 'Cause it came out in like 2012. So
Yeah.
like back then, everything there seemed like such a crazy idea. But now you watch it back, and you're just like, this doesn't seem like this could
Yeah.
happen. Like it seems
Yeah.
like I was just
Yeah.
like crazy rewatch today.
Uh-huh.
I must say, especially like watching it like because when it came out when we were like in high school,
Yeah.
so like everything seemed so like oh wow like that would be so crazy if like that could happen. And then you watch it now as an
And it's
adult
like,
with
"Oh no.
the
Okay.
government that we
Yeah.
have, and it's like
Ooh.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but yeah, definitely worth a rewatch though. It's very
Mhm.
good. Oh man.
But yes.
Yeah, check out our socials.
Yeah.
We have a lot of socials. What do we have? We have
Fa
the Instagrams.
Instagram. Yes. I keep wanting to say we have
Yeah.
Facebook, but we don't.
No.
Um, we have Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Blue Sky.
Mhm.
We're on Spotify, Apple Podcast.
Blue Sky, we are proudly a part of the social media that JD Vance is the number one blocked user of.
Yes. When I saw that, I was like, rightfully so. Um,
Good.
good.
Good. Good for you.
Good for you. You're the best at
Good for,
something. Um,
no, it's good more like good for everybody that like massively like decided to block him like
I
as
know.
they realized he was on this.
They're like, "Ooh, I could do this." Block.
It's like that meme. I'm doing my part. I'm doing my part.
How can you prevent
I'm blocked.
forest fires?
Oh god. Well, but yeah, Blue Sky, and what else do we have? TikTok?
TikTok, YouTube,
The TikTok.
Instagram. Yep.
I just deconstruct like this is the deconstructed names of all the
Yeah.
social medias. The U of Tube, the Inst of Gram,
The
the
tick of
Tick of
talk.
Talk.
The blue sky.
Oh
Oh wait,
man.
no, that's a blue of sky.
The blue of the sky.
The blue of
The
the
color
sky.
blue. God. Oh god. The delirium sets in. That's how we
Yes.
know it's time to say goodbye.
Yes. Yep. Gotta get ready for the week
So
ahead.
true. True. But hey, you guys can this will be uploaded tomorrow, so you guys can start your week with us.
Yep.
Lucky.
Lucky you. And you are.
Bye.
Bye.